But I honestly, my favorite shots of this are just close-ups of her face.
Hmm.
I think she carries so much in her face, and she's just a phenomenal actress. So you can just see the shift in her excitement to the shift in her being absolutely terrified, and
Hmm.
then just realizing how unimportant her own story and desires are,
Hmm.
like it's this like that was the most important thing to her at the beginning of the film. Hey Brent,
Hey, what's
so
up, Kate?
so good to see your face.
Yeah.
Um, we just a little intro. Me and Brent know each other through film school and have worked together on various projects. He used to be my focus puller and one of the best in the industry. Truly, truly, yeah, very talented. And I'm so happy to see you moving into DPing because your eye is also exceptional. And this piece itself is super powerful, a really poignant piece of filmmaking right now, obviously. Um, I really wasn't expecting where the story was going to turn, and I really appreciate the cinematography having both elevated and grounded cinematography that really serves the story. It's really beautiful and yeah, it supports it. So I would love to talk about your choices and everything and how this came to you.
Awesome.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks so much, Kate. And obviously, thank you for all the really kind words that you said. Obviously we've known each other for such a long time, and it's just so cool to, being there together 13 years ago, 14 years ago, 15 years ago. Oh my gosh. And also watching your career, blossom, and congratulations on being a part of the ASC. That's huge.
thank you.
So really excited about that. And all the work that you've always done, I've always watched, from a really special place, as a focus puller. And I've always admired your work. I've always admired how you approach a scene, approach a shot, and um, I always remember like whispering in your ear, you know, whatever, um, something's in the frame that has to be moved, or
Yeah,
how should this focus pull should be, how should it feel,
yeah, yeah.
and being side by side for so many years was such a great experience, working together. And so congratulations on all your um,
Thank
achievements
you.
and beautiful pictures.
I think it's important to not note that, you know, focus pulling can be a technical job, of course, being a first AC, but the excellent focus pullers are the ones who are super in tune with the characters and the story and the emotion. And I've always felt that you've been very dialed in, and we've had conversations so that you know how and when to pull focus. And if if there isn't a conversation about it, you have to really be dialed in to feel where the actor is going or where, it might feel right to rack focus somewhere. And not everyone, can do that, right? Or be, on the same page as me. It kind of like you do kind of have to have this like instinctual feeling. So it's yeah, it's just something that gets a little bit overlooked because people think that it's like very technical, but I can see obviously how you've carried that into being DP.
Mm,
So yeah, it's very cool.
thank you. Thanks. That's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah,
as you know, as a DP, it's it's a dance, it's an emotional dance, with the talent. And yeah, it directly carries over for sure.
yeah. So how did this film come to you and what attracted you to it?
I've always supported voices that are underrepresented, um, filmmakers that are also underrepresented. I just love my story itself is an underdog story, if you know me. And so, breaking through the impossible and fighting for what you believe in and fighting for your family and for your country and for what you believe in, but also recognizing that there are others just like you having the same exact, you know, issues and battles, but, with a different twist. So
Mhm.
the story really hit me hard. And I was, extremely proud to have the opportunity to shoot a story like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rare to have something that has a social commentary and like hits really hard and also within such a short time frame. Like shorts can be, I don't know, I find the best shorts sort of a slice of time instead of like trying to span way too much, time into like one thing or
Mhm.
one, 10, 15 minute film. And when you just sort of like plant it into this actual, this couple hours of this woman's life, it's really impactful. And you really feel like you're on this like journey with her.
It's dark tonight in the heart of Texas. Jesus can't hear me out here. It's faded blue jeans and star-spangled dreams ain't worth all the blood spilled tears.
So when you read the script, you said you were watching The Bear. Did that influence the way you wanted to shoot it, or were there inherent ideas that you felt immediately that you came to the director with? How did you guys sort of come up with the visual language?
Yeah, I always envisioned that this film was like three oneers for each scene.
Hmm. Oh, cool.
Definitely just like I would love the audience to just be placed in right next to Lauren and experience exactly what she's feeling, in real time. And, that's how we shot it. There's a couple scenes where she's in the car and everything, and it's broken up a little bit, but um, initially it was three oneers that we did. And
So you did shoot a oneer for the middle section of it with the car to start.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Interesting. And
yeah.
then when did you decide to add additional coverage?
Yeah, when when the oneer stopped working.
On the
Um,
day, you just felt that it wasn't working, and then you guys adjusted and sort of added shots.
exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
um, the portion, right after Jesus gets hit, that's when the winter begins, when she runs at the car, and runs up to him and checks to see if he's okay and grabs him and Lauren's like really strong. So she was like dragging him and throwing him in the car and then
Hmm.
like, we it being a short film, I had to figure out, look, okay, how am I gonna put the camera where it needs to be in this winter? And because of our time constraints, we're like, okay, this is where we need to start chopping this up. We can't have this full dialogue scene like we wanted, and the big one shot with all the choreography and all the random short film independent movie making curveballs that you get thrown at. Like
Hmm.
the bathrooms are locked. Like now we have to stop all production.
That's interesting though. Like to, I mean, I guess that has happened. I'm sure that's happened to me before. Like thinking that you could get it all in one, but it is hard to have, yeah, a car. There's so many layers to that, and then once they get in the car, like, are you just panning back and forth, and does that get a
Hmm.
little dizzying or tiring? Like,
Hmm.
how do you keep it interesting? But I never felt that there was anything missing from cutting up the coverage, like especially because it does feel everything in the diner almost still feels like a oneer, even though it's cut up because it's just
Hmm.
flowing very well and
Hmm.
the edit works really well and it just I feel like the anxiety just builds and builds.
Hmm.
Um and then Yeah, sort of the same after it. And it makes sort of sense. Well, I guess my next question would have been, um, there is obviously a shift from Steadicam, I assume,
Mhm.
to handheld. And was that always the plan? And what was your reasoning behind it?
Yeah, yeah, shifting from Steadicam to handheld to back to Steadicam was always the plan. And Gregory and I, we wanted like an evolution of the short to kind of stick with her mindset, the subtext of, what's going on, in her head. When we had that transition to the more visceral portion of the short film and jumping to handheld, we just really wanted to be like right in her face and experience what she's feeling.
Mhm.
And when we go back to when she lands at the radio station, everything kind of comes full circle, and we wanted to stick to Steadicam and build that tension and kind of build that momentum to the peak of the piece.
Awesome. Did you guys design the Steadicam shot prior to the shoot day, go to the location and figure it all out?
Yeah, obviously, indie filmmaking is all about rolling with the punches and taking some bubble gum and paper clips and figuring out what you can do with what you got. So everything was all about location. You have to work with what you got. You have to utilize your time in a way that
Mhm.
you don't want to waste time dreaming up these extravagant shots or these extravagant ideas and thinking of where to put lights in places where they can't go. It's just a waste of time. So Gregory brought me out about a month before we shot to Waco. We scouted every location, and from there, that's where we really built a comprehensive shot list of exactly what we wanted and the feeling and the tonality and the red light at the end and um, really subtle you know lighting choices to make it feel real. um,
Mhm.
I I really wanted the cinematography not to be a piece on the cinematography. I wanted it to
Mhm.
feel real. I wanted it to feel something that all you were thinking about was the story, you know,
Yeah.
and it's all about the actor, it's all about the subtext. And I really wanted it to flow and be a piece of its own. And I'm really proud where it's at now.
Yeah. It does feel like that, and I appreciate that because sometimes cinematography is a little heavy-handed and takes you out of it. And I never felt that with this. It always served the purpose of it, and I think it was the right choice for it. What was the most difficult scene to shoot or scene?
Yeah, great question. I would definitely I would definitely say the diner. The
Oh,
diner
really?
was
I would have thought the other, like the car accident or just, but I guess, yeah, makes sense. There's a lot more going on at the diner, a lot more people and that dynamic blocking and things. Yeah.
yeah, we only had 6 hours to shoot the diner scene, to light it, shoot it, block it, break everything down, and then go to the radio station, and do the
Hmm.
same thing. So we only had 6 hours. We only did what, 3 or 4 takes
Nice.
for the oneer, and then I got like two pickup shots of like the eggs and like the intercom. Um, yeah. Um,
Cool.
that was really
Nice.
that was really
Well,
that was really that was tough. Balancing, the Alexa 35 was perfect for that scene, and it really helped
mhm,
me um just balance, your exposure from the outside to the inside. I always wanted
mhm,
something warmer, a subtle warmer tonality from the inside, and then just let out the outside do its thing. Um, since it's a Steadicam shot, we're seeing the entire room, and then we're going, into the underbellies of the restaurant, and then going into the kitchen, and then coming back out, and then
mhm.
going out almost outside. I didn't have the opportunity to to hang any lights. I didn't have any opportunity to, put any stands down or anything. So it was just all uh, Astera Titan tubes and just
Mhm.
screw-in practicals. And
Nice.
that was a challenge, just balancing everything to that and doing aperture racks. Josh Barber, the first AC, who was excellent at that, and Heather Grow through. She was wonderful during the improvisation of um, doing the Steadicam shot, and
Who was the
especially
Steadicam operator?
Heather Grow through.
Oh, cool.
Might
Awesome.
be mispronouncing her last name, but um, I'm always so hyper detail oriented because I used to be a Steadicam operator myself, and I'm always very particular on on where the camera needs to land, and doing that dance with her was a great experience and a great learning opportunity for the both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's awesome. I know. I forgot you're doing Steadicam.
Yeah, I
Very
did it
cool.
for 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time I was pulling focus for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I always tell Stu I taught him how to
You
Steadicam.
taught Stu? Yeah. Did you?
Yeah. I taught him
Yes.
all the things not to do.
Oh my God. I love that. I'm never gonna let him live that down.
Yeah, definitely tell
Um, so you said you shot Alexa 35. What lenses did you choose and how did you come to that decision?
Yeah, I shot in the Alexa 35. I've been always been a big fan of Airy and the color science and how organic, the grain feels with it. It's definitely a league of its own, um, for digital cinema. And being a first AC, I know how versatile that body can be, and it served us
Mhm.
perfectly for our needs. Easily handheld. It's no XT or Amira, but you can cradle it really easily and really configure the camera quickly. Um, for the lenses, we wanted something just hyper real. We want something sharp. We wanted to shoot, um, you know, pretty conservatively with the stop. Um, I just wanted the story to speak for itself and to be able to have room to, you know, add a little grain if we want to in post. I wanted to give um, Gregory some options to play with, so I didn't want to go heavy handed on anything. I really wanted to let, the post to be a department in itself and to be able to play. And that's what I love being a filmmaker. I love allowing other creatives collaborate together and each department have their voice. And I think that's how you make the best project, even though it is the director's vision, um, and each department serves that vision. Um, and I think it's the job as a cinematographer to allow other departments to be able to play as well.
Yeah.
So having something clean, having something sharp.
So what lens?
Oh my God, the Supreme Primes.
Just circle
I
back really quick.
That's hilarious. I said it in my head and then I just didn't then I just started talking about them.
Just see what you got. Why don't you tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Janie May, and I'm from here.
All right. Well, let's hear it.
It's dark tonight in the heart of Texas.
Um, is there any particular shot or sequence that you're most proud of?
Yeah,
And
I'm
that could even be your without, something technical or really about the cinematography, because sometimes it's about stepping back and maybe it is a performance thing or something. So
mhm.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean I love the ending shot. I love that
Mhm.
ending sequence. The crescendo of Lauren's performance, as she sings about her struggle and, the flashbacks and, and cutting between Jesus's, Carlos, his performance of like, jumping over the fence and crawling away and trying to get away. It's a really powerful moment, and that's what filmmaking really is all about. Um, these sequences that really make us think about, what's happening in the world, what's happening in our lives, and the people around us.
Mhm. Yeah, that answers my next question, but um, it kind of leads into it. But yeah, given how significant this story is with the current political situation, what can you say about film as a platform to tell stories like this? And is it important for you to take on projects that have social significance or leave the audience perhaps being challenged?
Yeah, I think filmmaking is the most powerful medium to be able to, you know, allow people to step outside of, the bubble that they're living in, and, how they're thinking and their ideals. And um, you know, it allows you to think outside of the box. Film allows you to remind you of what else is happening around in the world. Film allows you to feel what someone else is feeling. um and the power of, cinematography has a huge hand in that. And um just being a part of that process is you know is really incredible.
Yeah, definitely. Um, is there a particular project that you have that would be like a dream project or any sort of genre that you're interested in? Um,
Oh
yeah,
my
I'm
gosh.
curious where Brent will be in 10 years.
Yeah, I that's a great question. I've never really thought about that. um I mean, what I really love to do is I really love to uplift the talented filmmakers around me. And if there's a story that, that I can connect with, or, if there's a story that helps me think of something that I've never thought about in a specific way, or, I'm all about, um, I feel like I'm extremely technical on one side of things, and the other side is, I also, you know, I want to be empathetic, and I want to hear the stories that aren't really told that often. So, um, uh, what I'm most looking forward to is the journey of filmmaking, um, and
Mhm.
whatever that means and wherever it takes you. So, yeah.
Awesome. I would have loved now knowing that you did it in three oneers to see those not cut up.
Mhm.
Um, obviously those imperfect moments of them, but it is really cool to think about this story as never cutting in these three like sections of this film. It does have that feeling to it, but I think it'd be interesting to give the uncut version.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
it would have been cool to see that, just knowing that that's how you approached it originally.
Hmm.
Um, but I honestly, my favorite shots of this are just close-ups of her face.
Hmm.
I think she carries so much in her face, and she's just a phenomenal actress. So you can just see the shift in her excitement to the shift in her being absolutely terrified, and
Hmm.
then just realizing how unimportant her own story and desires are,
Hmm.
like it's this like that was the most important thing to her at the beginning of the film. And then after this accident and meeting this man that's could lose his life, could lose his family, could lose it all, it just really shifts her perspective into realizing what is actually important.
Hmm.
So holding on her face sort of just does it all and like with very little dialogue. So
Hmm.
it's yeah. So I love those shots. But no, I think you guys made really excellent choices and I love yeah, how visceral it feels and of course, the message. So yeah, I hope
Oh,
a lot of
it's
people see it.
yeah, same. Well, thank you so much, Kate.
Yeah,
It's really incredible chatting with you and catching up. And
yeah, same.
thanks for watching the film and
Yeah.
thanks for chatting about it.
So, um,
We have less than a minute before this thing
okay.
shuts off. So
Um, okay, well, I'll just say like a closing bit, but yeah, thank you so much for asking me to do this. It's really cool to get to connect with someone that I've worked with creatively for years, maybe longer than anybody. So, yeah, it's just such an honor to be able to be part of this and ask you these questions and talk about it.